Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Acquisition and Management, Geography 113. For this week, I just want to point you to some of the assignments that we're going to be focusing on. As you can see, there are some weeks where we have more content, and there are other weeks where we have more assignments to turn in, right? So just a heads up, I am still grading your midterm exam, but you should have those scores by the end of the week, Friday. By the latest, you should get all your final results. And for this week, we are focusing on digitizing and editing the geodatabase. Please note that the instructions for the Review Lab 2 are ready. This video tutorial should take you about 40 minutes, and a lot of it is review of how the geographic coordinate systems or the datums and the projected coordinate systems or the projections, how these work here in ArcGIS, okay? So for some of you, this will be a review. For others of you, you might have missed this in the past, but you should have done at least a little bit in Geography 11. In any case, this is where we go over the use of the project and define projection tool, okay? So if you were not, it took me a while to get these instructions up, but they are now ready. And the rest of the lab is going to talk about digitizing. We have a few assignments, right? So these are actually pretty short labs. The practice in digitizing for the Chicago World's Fair, that takes about 20 minutes. And I included that in case you feel a little bit rusty and you need some reminders of how to digitize a scanned map. Tutorial 5 and 6, here you're going to be using some advanced tools that the software has, okay? So you can create lines and other features by telling the software the measurements, the distance that you want between the lines, etc. So tutorial 5, I'm asking you to complete 5-1 and 5-2. This tutorial, both of these tutorials will take about 40 to 60 minutes. And then the last editing tutorial is 6-1. You should only complete 6-1. That should take you between 20 to 30 minutes as well. So these are not so heavy, okay? So work through the module as you can. And the last assignment is pretty short. Here, I just want you to turn in a link or an example of the data that you plan to use for your final project. What I have been telling students is that the most important thing is to have the data that you're going to need for your final project. It becomes very difficult to start a project when you're not sure where to get your data or what data to use, okay? So over the next couple of days, if you haven't already figured that out, start looking for some data that you will need for your final project. And if you need help, I will also be sharing some data sources next week as well for different types of projects, okay? So that's it for this week. Thanks everyone for checking in. Again, work through this module. I know it's a little bit busy. There's several assignments that I have this week, but some of these are pretty short and easy to complete, okay? And like I said, I will be catching up on your grades, so I apologize for being behind on that. By next week, we are going to be focusing mostly wrapping up some of the last tutorials from the book. Next week, we are working on topologies, and then after that, we'll close with one last session for the final projects, okay? But as you can see, after the midterm, the class really feels like it's wrapping up pretty fast, but I want to make sure that we have enough time to troubleshoot any problems that you have with your final projects. So by week 7 and 8, we're going to be dedicating week 7, most of it, to the final project, and all of week 8 to extended office hours so that I can work with you online to finish your final project, okay? Have a good week, and if you have any questions, as always, stop by office hours or send me a message on Canvas. Thanks a lot.